live from the new sports betting capital of the world.
You might be from Texas, but I'm from New Jersey.
Benny Ricciardi is here to break down the day's betting board for you.
Let's go, Jerry. Go!
Taking a first look at the day's bets, it's time for the FTN Betting Show. Welcome to the FTN Bets Cast for Tuesday, April 12th, here at FTN Bets. We want to shout out our sponsor, new sponsor to the show, Sleeper.io. If you guys don't know, you can get over to Sleeper now. Sleeper is the fastest growing fantasy platform with millions of players. You probably already have a league on there, to be honest. I know I used to use it for mine. It's basically a game-changing product, unlike anything else in the industry. And now you can make money on Sleeper by playing their new over-under game as well, called Squads. It's really simple. In any sport, you choose two or more players that you like, and you pick whether they're going to go over or under whatever their listed total is. So, for example, in basketball, you could have number of points. In baseball, you could have the amount of hits that they're going to have on any given day. Then you choose the amount of money that you want to wager on a contest. If you get a 2x2 correct, you can win 2 times your money. If you get 4 correct, you could pick a 4x4. If you get 4 correct, you could win up to 20 times your money that you put in. The main reason I'm excited about this over-under game on Sleeper, it's the only app where I could join all my buddies in a contest and play together. So we set up one over at FTN Bets Cast over there on the Squads app there. You guys can get in there and join. It's got a built-in group chat where I can see and copy all my friends' picks, and you guys can see what I'm picking, and we could all take everything together just with the tap of the button. It's insanely fun. We could all ride together and try to win some money here. So stop what you're doing now. Go over to Sleeper, play their new over-under game Squads. Have fun with your friends. Have fun with us over here at FTN Bets Cast, and we could all make some money. Make sure to get over to that app right now. Use promo code FTN. And Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Again, download the Sleeper app, use promo code FTN, deposit $100. They will match that 100 with another 100, giving you $200 to play. And then we can go pick some prop bets and make a little bit of money here. So anyway, what I wanted to get into today with you guys, obviously today is a big day in the NBA. We got the play-in games, the 7-8 play-in games in both the East and the West going on. And we're going to start with that Cleveland and Brooklyn game in the East for the 7-8 game. Let's see. Let's take a look at this first. In the last 10 games right now, Cleveland kind of backed themselves into the playoffs here, going just 3-7 in the last 10 games. They were actually in the driver's seat for the 7 spot there, lost the home game to the Brooklyn Nets, who wound up finishing with a little bit better record than them. And now they have to go on the road and play Brooklyn in Brooklyn here today. Cleveland on the season was ranked number 19th on offense, number 6th in defensive efficiency. But remember, they are without Jared Allen. Jared Allen was a big piece of that defense, a guy that could rebound really well, block and alter a lot of shots, clog up the middle, and kind of help everybody else out if they get beat. He is not going to be playing here today. He is out. He's been out for a while, so it's not a big deal. The good news for the Cavs is they did welcome back rookie Evan Mobley a couple games ago. Evan Mobley, one of the better players on the team for them this year, one of the better rookies in the entire NBA. Guy that could score, a guy that could rebound, a guy that fit in very well with this team and played well. He came back last week after sitting out for a little while, played 30 minutes in the one game, played 20-something minutes in the last game. That didn't really matter. They kind of let the bench play a little bit in that game too. So, I expect him to be playing a big number of minutes today, and especially without Jared Allen, you're going to have that rotation of, like Lauri Markkanen and Evan Mobley, and then, Kevin Love playing some minutes as well. The guy that's probably going to lose the minutes is the big guy, Moses Brown, who they had been playing. With the 2 games back that Evan Mobley had, Brown went from playing 24 to 30 minutes down to playing less than 10 minutes in the last 2 games with Mobley back. So I feel like he's going to be the odd man out there, and that's going to be where most of those minutes come from. You may lose a few minutes for Markkanen here and there. Kevin Love's not playing a ton of minutes right now anyway, so I don't really think they're going to lose a lot of that. But I think a lot of the minutes that Mobley's going to get now that he's back are going to come from the minutes that Brown had been playing when both Mobley and Jared Allen were out. As for the Brooklyn side of things, Joe Harris, he's been out most of the season. He's going to remain out. Ben Simmons does look like he's getting closer to coming back, but I don't think he's going to play in this game here. I mean, listen, stranger things have happened, but I think we might wind up seeing Ben Simmons in the next round. I don't think we'll see him here in the play-in game, though. Seth Curry, the only guy that's really on the fence here. He's listed as questionable here today. But I got to be honest, that questionable is probably more like a probable. Everything that I'm reading, everything that his coach is saying, it looks like Seth Curry is going to be playing here in this game. Now, the Nets are a big favorite in this game. You're looking at 9.5 is pretty much the number across the board. It's minus 110 at most books. You could actually get it minus 108 on FanDuel. So that's the best place to play it. If you're looking to get money down on the Nets, lay the minus 9.5, minus 108 on FanDuel, the best place to play it. And like I said, everywhere else has this at minus 110. So if you're looking to play the Cleveland side, you can get plus 9.5 on the Cleveland side at minus 110 as well. If I had to choose one of those two numbers, I'm going to be honest, I'd rather take the plus 9.5 with Cleveland. 9.5 is a big number. I know Cleveland has been less than they were without Jared Allen here, and I do expect the Nets to win this game. Covering 9.5, though, is not an easy thing to do. These teams have played 4 times throughout the year, 2-2 against the spread for both of them. Although the Nets did win 3 of those 4 games, they only covered in 2 of them. So 2-2 against the spread, 3-1 overall straight up for the Nets in this series. The number of points average in the 4 games has been 218.25. The high has been 225. So I do like the under in this game here. The under is currently sitting at 227 on most of these sites out here. And like I said, the most points that these two teams have ever scored this season in the 4 games that they played against each other has been 225 as a total. We have 225, 221, 219, and 208. So the 227 here feels like it might be a little bit high. So I do like the under in this game today. If you're going to go bet it, you can get that at Unibet right now, minus 109. Everywhere else, the 227 is minus 110. You could actually get an over if you want to play an over here. You could get the over at BetMGM at 226.5, slightly juiced up. That would be the best price. But like I said, I'm on the under in this game. Unibet minus 109 at 227. Best place to play the under here. As for the props in this game, the only one that I'm really interested in here, I debated whether I wanted to take Kyrie or Kevin Durant, but I do think this is a softer matchup for Kevin Durant. So I like the over on Kevin Durant points. You can get it at 30.5 on some sites, juiced up a little bit, 31.5 at standard juice on most of the books out there as well. That's the only real prop bet that I'm interested in here today, and something that you could look at over there on the Sleeper app as well. So now let's talk about the second game we got up here today, which is the Los Angeles Clippers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Clippers come in hot, 6-4 over their last 10 games. Minnesota coming in a little bit slipping, 4-6 over their last 10 games, but they were able to, hold on to the home court advantage here on the number 7 seed overall. The Clippers had a nice run at the end to get them up into the playoffs and up into this first round play-in game to give them a better chance to make it into the playoffs. On the season, the Clippers' offense was ranked 24th. Their defense was ranked 7th. Remember, though, they played most of that season without their 2 best offensive players. Kawhi Leonard is going to remain out for this game. Paul George did come back recently, and that's somebody that's going to help them probably improve on that 24th overall offensive efficiency on the season. As for Minnesota, Minnesota's been a team that's relied on their offense. They finished 7th in overall offensive efficiency during the year, 13th on defense, so a little bit weaker on that side. It's a pretty good matchup. You got the 7th ranked Z taking on the 7th ranked offense. And then you have the 13th ranked defense of Minnesota taking on a Clippers offense that was ranked 24th. But again, that was 24th playing most of the season without Paul George and also without Kawhi Leonard. Again, Leonard not going to be playing today. George is. They're probably a little bit better than 24th in overall offensive efficiency with Paul George back in the lineup. We don't have a big enough sample size to really make a massive number of how much better they are, but they definitely are better here. So let's see. These two teams played 4 times during the season. The Clippers won 3 of those 4 games. The average total in those 4 games was 220.25 points. So you're looking at a 230 total in this game here today, which does seem a little bit high based on the numbers that we've had from those teams. Now, remember, Paul George missed a bunch of those games. That's going to give it a little bit, but Paul George is not worth 10 points to a total here. If anything, Paul George's offense is probably worth a couple points, and Paul George being a good defensive player is probably going to take a couple points away from the other team. So I think the overall net gain may be more like 3 points, not 10 that we would need to get in there. So this is another game where I like the under here. You could play an under at 231 is the highest number I see here at minus 110, and that's on points bet. So if you want to play the under in this Clippers Timberwolves game, 231 on points bet, the best place to play that at minus 110. If you are interested in the over on the other side of this game, it's 230.5 minus 110 on almost all the other books. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, Unibet, Bet Rivers, Sugar House. All of them have this at 230.5 minus 110. So that would be the way to go on that side. As for the prop bets, there are a couple prop bets that I'm interested in here today. I really like Paul George over 3.5 3-pointers. You can get that on DraftKings at even money. This is a guy who's attempted in the last 5 games, he's attempted an average of 8 3-pointers per game. In the last 5 games, he's made an average of 4 3-pointers per game. 4 was the number that I had him projected for here today. So again, if we can get over 3.5 at even money, it's probably a safe bet. Do I think there's a lot of value in it? No, but I do think he's going to come out and play more minutes than he has been. So there is a chance that he's going to go over what he's been doing recently. And like I said, recently, he's averaging about 4 3-pointers per game, taking about 8. He's had 9 3-point attempts in a couple of these recent games. He's had a couple games where he's hit 5 and 6 as well. So Paul George is definitely going to be firing, looking to score his offense here today. And I do like the over on that one. The other over I like today is going to be D'Angelo Russell points at 17.5. When Russell plays into the mid 30 minutes, he easily tops 20 almost every time he does that. And this is one of those situations which are playoff life on the line in a play-in game trying to get there, where I expect him to play that 34, 35 minutes. And when he plays in that range, he's usually a guy that's getting 20 plus points. 17.5 feels a little light here for me. So the other bet that I like when we're talking about props here today is going to be D'Angelo Russell over 17.5 points. As for the game, give me 1 second here. Let me get the spread here. I want to make sure it hasn't moved since I looked at this last night. Minnesota should be favored in this game. The number that I made it was 2. The lowest number in the market is actually 2.5. You can get 2.5 minus 112 over on FanDuel. Everywhere else, it's 3. And even some sites like BetMGM and PointsBet have this at minus 3.5, juiced down a little bit, minus 105, but still 3.5 is the number there. If you're going to play the Timberwolves side, minus 2.5 on FanDuel, minus 112, best place to play that. As for the Clippers, if you want the Clippers side, you can get them. And this is the bet that I like here. Plus 3.5 at BetMGM or PointsBet at minus 115. Slightly juiced up a little bit, but again, I will pay that to get up to 3.5 from the 2.5s or 3s that are out there in the market. I like the Clippers plus 3.5, minus 115 here today. I like the under in both games. I actually like both of the underdogs with the points if you're looking there, but I do like both of the favorites on the money line. I like the Nets on the money line a lot more than I like the Timberwolves on the money line. If you wanted to take a money line bet on the second game, there is a little bit of value there on the Clippers. Like I said, I think that number is a little bit too high for Minnesota. So if the spread's a little too high, the payout on the money line is going to be a little too high as well. So Clippers definitely decided that game that it's on, and you guys have the prop bets as well. Remember, you can get over right now to that sleeper app, sign up for the squads, hop into the FTN Bets Cast squad. It's a public squad. I left it open. Anybody who listens to the pod, you're welcome to get over there. And remember, use that promo code FTN, deposit $100, you'll get a $100 match. You have $200 to play with, so you can go make some money. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back with a little bit of MLB action here, Tuesday, April 12th on the FTN Bets Cast. And welcome back to the FTN Bets Cast for Tuesday, April 12th here at FTN Bets, sponsored by our good friends over at the Sleeper app. Let's get into a little bit of MLB action here today. We got a lot of games to talk about. So starting in the afternoon with the Boston Red Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers in that game right here. Looking at the numbers here, Detroit at home. You can get Detroit as high as plus 106 on the money line here over on FanDuel. That's the best price to play if you're interested in that side. I actually prefer the other side of this game. I think the Boston Red Sox are being disrespected here as only a minus 124 favorite. I know they're on the road, but I don't think this Detroit team is very good. I don't really think this is a matchup that favors them as well. Boston Red Sox minus 124. You can get that on Unibet, Sugar House, or Bet Rivers if you're looking to play that side of the game. Moving on to the 4 o'clock game, we got the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are a team that I am interested in here. Pretty sure our boy MLB Dream is on the Reds here today as well. It's a really good pitching matchup in this game. You have Tyler Mahle going for the Cincinnati Reds and Shane Bieber going up for the Cleveland Guardians here. Yes, it's tough to want to bet against Bieber here, but I'm really betting against the Cleveland offense, which I think is pretty much hot garbage right now. Cincinnati is minus 110 on a lot of sites, but you can get them at plus 105 on PointsBet. It's the best price I see out there in the market. At anything above even money, I think the Reds are a pretty good play here today. So Reds plus 105 on PointsBet, definitely something I'm interested in. Cleveland is minus 110 on most books out there. If you're looking for the best price, if you want to play the Cleveland side of this, Unibet has them at minus 107 here today. So that would be the place to play Cleveland. But like I said, I'm on the Cincinnati side along with our boy MLB Dream. Next game up, Seattle Mariners, Chicago White Sox. White Sox favored at home as high as 140, as low as minus 120. Minus 120 on BetMGM. Best place to play the Chicago White Sox here. That's the side of this game that I want to be on. If you're on the Mariners side, you can get them anywhere from even money to plus 108. FanDuel plus 108, best place to play the Seattle Mariners, best price you can get on them today. Chicago Cubs taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chicago on the road, favored here, anywhere from minus 135 all the way down to minus 120. You can get a minus 120 on them on the money line on a lot of places. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. So let's see, Unibet, Sugar House, Bet Rivers, all have the Chicago Cubs at minus 120, which is where they should be here today. Pittsburgh Pirates, basically even money on most sites. Caesars plus 105 is the best place you can go to get the best price on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I am not going to be betting on the Pittsburgh Pirates today or probably any other day for the rest of the season here. If you want to be on this game at all, the Cubs side minus 120 is the place to be. Next game up, the Oakland Athletics against the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay, a big favorite here, anywhere between, minus 230 all the way down to minus 200 is the best price you can find on them. You could get that on both DraftKings and BetMGM, that minus 200 on the Tampa Bay Rays. Oakland, anywhere between plus 170 to plus 180. Best price out there is the plus 180 on Caesars. That would be the place to play the Oakland Athletics. I mean, listen, I like Tampa Bay to win this game. They probably are about 2/3 likely to win this game, which means that minus 200 is probably about fair value here. So I don't really see a bet on this game that I'm willing to take. Next game up, 6:45 start, New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies. This game is in Philly. Philadelphia is a big favorite in this game, anywhere from, minus 165 all the way down to minus 145. That feels like that number's a little bit off there. Tyler Megill on the mound for the Mets, played pretty well in his last start. Former Met Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies in this game as well. You can get the Phillies as low as minus 145 on BetMGM. That's the best price to play them on that side. I actually like the Mets in this game. I would take the Mets at the plus money here. Plus 118, plus 120, plus 130, plus 136 on FanDuel. Best place you could play the New York Mets, plus 136 on FanDuel. Mets 3-2 on the season. Phillies 3-1 on the season. Tyler Megill against Zach Wheeler. Pretty good pitching matchup here in this game. Next game, Milwaukee Brewers, Baltimore Orioles. Brewers deserve to be favorites on the road, but I do not love the number that they have here today. As high as minus 170, lowest we can find, Caesars minus 161. That's the best price on the Brewers. I do think the Brewers win. I do like the Brewers today. I don't like laying minus 160 with them. Baltimore, plus 140 to plus 145, the number we've seen in the market. DraftKings plus 145 is the best number on the Baltimore Orioles there. I honestly think there's a little bit of value on the Orioles here today. I didn't bet them. I don't want to bet them. I don't think the Orioles are a very good team, but I do think that Milwaukee is a little bit overrated. I'm staying away from this game, but I do think the value is on the Baltimore side. That brings us to the Toronto Blue Jays against my New York Yankees. Yankees, big favorites here today. Well, not big favorites, but favorites here today. As high as minus 135, as low as minus 120. DraftKings, BetMGM, you can get the Yankees minus 120 over the Blue Jays here today. Blue Jays, best price, plus 105 over on Caesars. There is actually a little bit of value on that plus 105 number over there for the Toronto Blue Jays. They should be even money, which is where they are on a couple of the other books. So plus 105, there's a little bit of value there on that side. If I had to pick here, I would rather be on the Toronto side at plus 105 than the Yankee side at minus 120. And again, this is coming from a diehard Yankee fan. Miami Marlins, Los Angeles Angels. Next one we can talk about here. Angels, let's see, as big as minus 160. Best price, minus 145 over on BetMGM. Deserving favorite here. Pretty much on market. I had this game at minus 150, so minus 145. A little bit below where it should be, but not enough to make me go and, crack open a piggy bank to get some money down on here. Not a big fan of this Miami Marlins team. Plus 130 to plus 136 is the numbers I'm seeing. FanDuel plus 136, best number out there in the market if you're looking to play the Miami Marlins side of this game. Washington Nationals, Atlanta Braves, next game up. Braves as high as 165, as low as minus 150. Again, DraftKings and BetMGM, the best price in the Atlanta Braves. Washington Nationals side of this game, plus 125 to plus 140. Caesars at plus 140 is the best place to play the Washington Nationals here today. Los Angeles Dodgers, Minnesota Twins. Dodgers favored on the road, as they should be. Minus 135, minus 134 on DraftKings is the best price out there. A lot of minus 135s, a lot of minus 140s in the market. I think it's a fair price. I don't think there's a lot of value there. Minnesota Twins plus 115, plus 120 over on Caesars. Best place you can play them. Like I said, plus 115 is where they're at on most of the other sites out here. Again, don't think there's any value on either side of this game. I think this game is priced very well. I think, it's basically is what it is. Next game up, Kansas City Royals against the St. Louis Cardinals. This is one where I do have a little bit of value here. The Cardinals are as high as a minus 180 favorite on some books and as low as minus 160 on both DraftKings and BetMGM. That's where I want to play them today. I like the Cardinals at minus 160. I think we have some value there. I do think this is going to move closer to the 170, 180 range. So if you're listening to this, hit pause, or even if you can, open up another window on your computer or on your phone and go and get that money down on the St. Louis Cardinals. I would play this up to 170, up to minus 170. I'd be fine. But obviously, I like it a lot better if we can get that minus 160 still on DraftKings and BetMGM, which is where I took it this morning. This was a game that I actually bet on yesterday, and it got rained out. So I wanted to, well, actually, they weren't playing the Royals yesterday, but, I do like this Cardinals team a lot, and I do think they're going to win this game against the Royals here today. If you are on the Royals side, you can get the Royals as high as plus 145. That would be on Sugar House and Bet Rivers right now. So you could play them plus 145, Sugar House, Bet Rivers. They're like plus 140. Most of the other sites, plus 135, plus 140 on the other books. So, that's not a bad price either, but I'd obviously rather have the plus 145 if you're going to play the Royals, which I'm not because I like the St. Louis side. Next game, Colorado Rockies traveling to Texas to take on the Rangers here today. Let's see. The Texas Rangers are a pretty big favorite here. Minus 165 is the high. Minus 150 is the best price, and that is over on DraftKings. So Texas Rangers minus 150 on DraftKings. I don't mind playing that number there. I wouldn't chase it any higher than minus 155, though. Colorado Rockies as low as plus 125, as high as plus 140, and you can get the plus 140 over on Caesars. That's the best place to play them. Like I said, I would rather be on the Rangers side of this game, but if you're interested in the Rockies, plus 140 Caesars, best number you can get there. Houston Astros, Arizona Diamondbacks. Astros, deserving road favorite here. Minus 160, minus 161, minus 155. Oh, here we go. Minus 150 on BetMGM. Lowest price we can find on the Houston Astros here today. That's the best price out there in the market. I think that's also the same price on Bet Rivers and Sugar House as well. So you can play this on BetMGM, Bet Rivers, or Sugar House, minus 150. Best price on the Astros here today. The Diamondbacks, if you want to be on that side, plus 125 is the low, plus 140 is the high. That high is over on Caesars. So you can play the Diamondbacks plus 140 over at Caesars. I would rather play the Astros, if anything, but I do think minus 150 is pretty much value and even money. I don't think we got to go and chase anything over there. And that brings us to the last game, the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have an opinion on this game, but I will say this. We have two of our baseball experts. I think Frank was on the Padres side of this game today, and I think MLB Dream was on the San Francisco Giants side of this game. Like I said, I had no opinion on this game to begin with, but when I saw one of those guys on each side of it, I just decided, you know what? This is one of those games I'm going to stay away from. I like the Padres a lot better yesterday because we were able to get them at plus 130. With the numbers kind of down in this game, I don't really see any value here. You're looking at minus 110 on some books. The best price I can find on the Giants is minus 106, and that's at FanDuel. The best price I can find on the Padres is minus 104, and that's over on Unibet. For the most part, this is a coin flip, minus 110 kind of game. And again, when you have those kind of games, if I don't have a lean one way or another, there really isn't much that I want to be putting my money on in this game. The fact that two of the experts who I have the most faith in and two guys who I've been following for a while two guys that are co-workers of mine whose opinions I respect are on different sides of this game just kind of makes me realize that this is probably one of those games I should stay away from as well. So again, if you want the Giants, minus 106 on FanDuel. If you want the Padres, minus 104 on Unibet and Sugar House and Bet Rivers. Me, I have no opinion and no lean, so I'm going to be staying away from it. And there you go. That wraps it up for the MLB action here for today, Tuesday, April 12th. Remember, get over to that sleeper app right now. Get in onto that squads game. Use promo code FTN. Deposit that $100. Get the $100 match. And make sure you sign up for the FTN Bets Cast group. This way we could all kind of talk about who we like, what bets we want to take, and we could all make some money together. And this is Benny Ricciardi signing off for the FTN Bets Cast here at FTN Bets, sponsored by the Sleeper app for April 12th. Good luck, everybody.
Live from the new sports betting capital of the world.
You might be from Texas, but I'm from New Jersey.